What is up, everyone? Welcome to Plastic Hearts Podcast, a show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, indie game dev extraordinaire, Gavin Jones. Gavin, how the hell are you?
I'm good. I'm sip me some of this vein of racism juice.
Yeah, that's dope. After seeing that video, I've just been inspired to go like Batman, walk around the streets with my Arizona tea, like a utility belt full of them, and just whack racists left and right, or just assholes.
You know, it's not long ago the Tea Party had left a bad taste in people's mouths, and now, ooh,
Quite literally, yeah. Yeah, I've watched that video a couple times now, and just freeze frame and rewind, like the way he just fucking pummels that dude with it. And then you could see in the beginning he tries to do that flip with the T, and if he would have flipped it and then smacked the guy, like that would have just been just perfect, like Fast and the Furious style movie, like a Michael Bay scene. But he nails it.
It's so satisfying. It's absolutely one of the most satisfying things.
Yeah. Well, besides smacking people in the streets with Arizona teas, what you been up to?
Not much. Been short week last week. Going off to Portland and doing things. Yeah, buying too many board games for some reason. I started buying them again, like I'm fucking playing them. Although I'm gonna force you to play the Fallout game because apparently it's really, really good and the rules are very simple and it's just fun. So
I'll give that one a go. Yeah, I would try that. Yeah, when you texted me that, I played the mobile game years ago. Was it like 3 or 4 years ago they dropped that? And it was cool. I just never kept playing it, but it was neat to, to organize your little vault dwellers and send some out of there. And they had the card system, and it was a cool idea. I feel like that would work as a board game.
Oh, there was a card system in that?
Yeah, there's some kind of level of chance or how you could upgrade stuff. There's some kind of board, or not board game. There's some kind of card game aspect to it. But yeah.
Interesting. Maybe that's why they're like, it's 90% of the way there. Let's just finish it and throw in microtransactions. Just put the money into the box. And or at least that's my rule when we play. That's my rule.
Yeah. That's the thing. The game on mobile was free, but you could buy stuff. You could buy those cards and whatnot, like in-game stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, you mentioned.
Go ahead.
Oh no, you mentioned going to Portland and being wild in the streets. I realized today I have some kind of cold sore thing going on. So it's almost like whatever you're doing out there, I'm getting the punishment for it on my face.
That is the pact with the devil that I made. You're going to be getting sores in a lot weirder places.
That's I think you've been doing that for a while now, because that would explain things. But yeah, it just popped out of nowhere. Although that's the benefit of wearing the mask now, so like I can cover stuff up. So I wish I would have had that like in high school, have a weird pimple, just put the mask somewhere. But so I missed that.
I have at least one friend who's just now no longer doing makeup from here down.
Makes sense.
Wouldn't have even thought of that.
Yeah, what's the point? But that is the benefit of having Corona right now, is that I can hide stuff. And so thank God for Corona, man. It helped me today with having to hide my weird skin blemish thing. So
it does hide, but at the same time, like maskne is definitely a thing. Like I have so many more zits. Thanks to my mask.
Although the masks are mostly cloth, right? So it's like, I don't know if stuff is just transferring or what the deal is, but if it was like a plastic thing, I guess I can understand why, pimples would develop more. But yeah, you're right. That's what's going on.
Your lips put a lot of stuff, like you're eating and then you put it on. Like I knew today I had to watch out because I was eating Takis. And like, if you eat Takis and put on a mask, you're going to have that lipstick mark. So
I learned the hard way of, because for some reason it's in the air or something, but I've been going hard lately into Takis as well. And I'll pick up my DualSense, and it's white now, that PS5 controller. And you learn once where it's like, it will remember everything, just like your past memories and secrets are imprinted on that DualSense now because of the Cheeto dust and stuff. So now I have to like really watch out and lick it clean, and then I start playing with it.
It does know what you did last summer. I absolutely, I think I've told you this not long ago, but like, man, Takis, like when I first tried them, I'm like, this is a garbage food for garbage people. And then I just keep eating more. I'm like, I will be the garbage person. I love it. God, I love the Takis. But also, again, I like flaming hot Cheetos. but
Mm.
as a lactose intolerant person, I can't eat uh flaming hot Cheetos.
Yeah, sure, the dairy in there.
It's like 3,000% dairy. That's all it is.
Mm.
But Takis, man, that's the closest I can get to my fix, and I do love me. It is
Yeah,
a
Takis are the best. And me and Megan were talking recently, like, is there a way to get that dust and just kind of put it on stuff? Like, because we're trying to go back into keto again, like assholes, we jumped off the wagon, we're now back on. And, but I love Taki. So it's like, how can I get that powder dust and put it on, say, like pork rinds, which are actually keto, like making some kind of healthier version of it? Or do I just say fuck it and just, go cannonball into a bag and just not worry about it?
there was probably like almost 10 years ago, there was like a College Humor sketch just like this, and it was the ground up Doritos at the bottom of the bag.
Yeah,
That's just the whole bag full of that, and
I would buy it. Or if people really want to make some money, get Taco Bell in on it, just like they did that Doritos Locos Tacos. Do a Taki Locos Tacos thingamabob, and we really make some money then. Like that would be insanely delicious, and I think I would just only eat there and kill myself promptly, but like it would be awesome.
I think there's a reason it hasn't happened yet.
It's politics, man.
Like they got in bed with Big Dorito,
Yeah,
big Frito Lay, and they said no Takis up
that
in
must be
here.
it.
I think if they did that, like that's the height of just success as humans is the Dorito or the Takis Locos Tacos.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what the aliens were waiting for. Like they weren't waiting for us to advance to whatever
right.
nuclear technology. They're waiting for us to perfect that Taco Bell stuff, and then they show up. And that reminds me, there's something in the recent
They do
Corona,
that, they'll come swarming out of Area 51 doing a Naruto run.
right? Oh shit, they figured it out. Let's go.
They gonna
Uh,
clap some cheeks, all right?
there's something in that recent coronavirus bill that had something to do, and it's apparently legit, had something to do with demanding that the government, they have like 180 days to release whatever knowledge they have about UFOs or Area 51. There's something like that.
There's
I don't know if you've
no
read
way
that.
that's true.
I,
Absolutely
I swear I'm
100%.
not pulling it out of my ass. It was something that had to do with that coronavirus bill. And I don't know if the government has to do anything about it. They just say, yeah, that's cool. They barely gave us $600, and that was like dragging their feet. So I highly doubt they're going to bring Zeepzorp, out of hiding just because that bill says so. But
It's pronounced Zeepzorb.
I'm sorry, I'm
I know
canceled
it's
already. Okay,
subtle. I know it's subtle, but racist.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, Gavin, you've been playing some games. I imagine you've been jumping back into Cyberpunk along with your usual like Spelunky and all the other bullshit. But
Yep,
we've been
same
playing.
too. Same too. It's
Right.
it's not gonna change till I beat Cyberpunk, and I feel like how many hours do I even have into Cyberpunk at this point?
Yeah, because you were asking me about Pan Am, which I want to say she's like in the middle, towards the beginning. You can already start meeting her, and you're like, where is she? But I looked it up, and it's something that you should have encountered already, or you're about to encounter pretty quick.
I'm 66.3 hours into Cyberpunk.
Mm,
Uh, but I've been avoiding side missions like the plague. Or I've been avoiding the main missions like the plague.
gotcha.
I did enough to make a run at Judy. Uh, and I did not. You succeeded at said run
Yep.
at Judy.
Yeah, because I'm playing as a hot bitch, dude. Let me tell you. So Judy had no chance. It was a done deal from the get go. But yeah,
And
she's
I left with no booty.
yeah, because they have their preferences. So Judy's gay. There's some characters that are straight that you can't. So it depends on which route you took, gender wise, I guess.
And I think this is only like the second game ever to do that, which is cool. It'd be nice. That being said, like at that point, when you do this, now I just want more characters that I can romance.
Right. Yeah, because it's
But
just those few, and then there is that one like you can have random sexual encounters with NPCs, like you had encountered. You told me last week, but other than that, like story based stuff, it's kind of
yeah,
limited.
yeah, yeah, I'll be curious to see kind of where it goes. It seems like there's not very many options, and that's fine. Um, but God, what a game! That being said, I was talking with a coworker earlier again, and I do wish, I really wish, just take the amount of side missions, cut it in half, and make them twice as long. Just give
Mm,
me, because some of these are good, some of these are verging on great, and if they just had a little bit more time, or maybe bring these characters back, I would love for these characters. If good old Flaming Dick came back, if that was like a continuous story throughout the game, I would love it. The only one I've gotten is the monk that has you meditate with him,
yeah,
and that was cool. I like the fact that like what like the poetry or whatever he was saying, like the mantras for you to meditate to were like kind of fucking legit. Um,
I skipped through those, so I don't know if that makes me a piece of shit. But I eventually I was like, okay, dude, and I was just kind of skipping through those.
they were
But
pretty long. They were pretty
yeah,
long. I feel like you could actually meditate to what he was saying.
it's possible. But I just wanted to get through the game at that point when I found them. But yeah, I
Yeah.
did find
I,
that vending machine that talks. I
it
eventually
finally
triggered
works
that.
now?
Yeah, so I
Uh,
was able to trigger that. Yeah.
was it a story thing that you feel triggered it? Or I
I
think
must
you
have. I don't know what I did that where it wasn't on the map, and then eventually I came back to that area, and yeah, sure enough, it showed up, and I could actually start that conversation. But yeah, there was that time last week we tried to play, and it just would not go. But it might have been a glitch or something.
do you agree it's one of the best side missions in the game?
Well,
That's what a lot of people say.
it must be in parts because I started it and ended it. I just had like a really short conversation, and then that was it. So he must pop up later where you can talk to him again because it was just very
I think
quick.
it's a three-parter. From
Gotcha.
what we saw in that guide for how to start it, I think it was a three-parter.
Makes
But
sense.
a coworker told me about it because they happened upon it, and the premise alone of what it is has me excited.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's one that I could have sworn I basically scraped everything like the bottom of the barrel, but there's still a little bit of stuff I haven't encountered yet. That's one of them. But yeah, I mean, it's a dope game. I still love jumping in and playing it. I think I will put it down very soon and wait for on the docket in January. They have an upgraded fix for bugs and whatnot, and then they have some kind of February update for content. So I'm gonna kind of just leave it alone for a bit, and I think we will see eventually another path created for this game as well. I think they will add that. Maybe it'll be free. That's a out there prediction, but because the launch was so fucked up, I think they will add some kind of thing to get into good graces again. I think they've been working on another path, honestly, but that's just a prediction I have. But either way, I want to try this again with all the bugs fixed and everything.
One thing that's kind of surprised me about it, I am kind of forcing myself to play it a little bit.
Mm,
And when I compare that to Fallout 4, where I didn't have to force myself to play that game for a second. I put a bajillion hours into that. I should actually look at how many hours. But it I think where that came from is this game tells you the story. Whereas in Fallout, you had to figure out what the fucking story was. You go in, you'd read every single little log and figure out what happened at this little point I found on the map. You really, yeah, you just don't get that here. Now that's a different universe. Fallout, it's just ripe for stories
right.
of what the fuck happened. But yeah, I am a little disappointed that I'm not, you know, and maybe it's the fact that the map is just littered with nodes and little story things that
Sure.
you can go do. Um, and I'm not getting the delightfulness of discovering something, stumbling upon something. I was even thinking about how it's different from Breath of the Wild. Like Breath of the Wild, you can miss out on days worth of content if you're not looking and searching every nook and cranny. That being
Mm.
said, I don't know how you do that in this style of game. Maybe you do something when you're close. I don't know, but
Yeah, that's true. I felt a little bit of what you're feeling early on in the game. Honestly, like the first 8 hours, I kind of felt like it was a chore playing it. For some reason, the shooting wasn't clicking with me, the driving, and I just hit this, this breakthrough where it made sense, and I was having a lot of fun and wanted to keep playing it. But there was a time where I even debated like returning it, honestly, and just waiting for the bugs and stuff to be fixed, and just because I wasn't having fun regardless of the bugs. But something happened where I just enjoyed running around and getting all the stuff done. And I was like you, where I held off on the main story for a very long time before I really started jumping in. But yeah, overall, I really dug this game, and yeah, I dig it. I can't wait for some more DLC stuff to come out before I try a new path. But yeah, it's I wish we could see the other dimension where everything launched perfectly and the game ran awesome. And I think it would just be cool to see where they were able to nail this launch and have more of the conversation be on like what's in the actual game versus the shit show that was the launch.
Right. So I
But
just checked Fallout 4. I played 111 hours.
damn, okay, yeah. Yeah, I love Fallout 4 too. Like it was not a chore at all to find all the you're right with the story stuff where there's an incentive, you want to know what happened in a certain room or certain vault, like so you want to dig through all the different audio logs and piece together what happened. Yeah, the same.
Absolute blast. Love that game. Even though like people argue that's one of the worst Fallouts, uh it's
I
still
don't
a good,
know.
like, even if it's the worst Fallout game, it's still a
Right.
really good game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know if I think it was one of my favorite ones. Maybe the favorite for me was the third one, but that's also like the first entry in like their third or the first person world that Bethesda started taking over and started picking up that franchise again.
Yeah,
I was really into that first one, but I know New Vegas has amazing writing and options for the storyline. But I thought Fallout 4 was great. I didn't have any issues with it.
I should definitely play more of that. Oh damn. So I just looked at my like most played games on here. Holy shit. I play a lot of roguelites.
Yeah, you do. I could have told you that, Kevin.
I didn't realize I put 69 hours into Awesome Knots. I don't even remember playing that game that much. That's
Did
really
you leave it on and
fucking
go to sleep, or what happened?
yeah. Also hashtag nice. For 69 hours. 40 hours into Prey. Apparently Dishonored now is one of my top. Well, because I got almost to the end of Dishonored and then reset and started again.
Oh,
Holy shit. Yeah, my max is Nuclear Throne with 288 hours.
what the hell? Did you also work on the game? Like that's a crazy amount of hours. No player should have that, but I guess it can be done.
It's it's a God, it's honestly one of the best designed roguelites I ever played.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, we should probably get into. Did you talk about what you played?
No, Gavin, because you're rude and you didn't ask me and you don't care about my life. That's why. So, uh, what I was playing as far as roguelike, speaking of roguelites, this is not that at all, but Demon Souls. I bought Demon Souls, been playing it, and I hate my life, Gavin. Let me tell you. This game is really dope, right? So it's crazy beautiful. That's one of the reasons why I jumped into this in the first place. I knew it was gonna be hard. I knew it wasn't gonna be for me, but
It's upsettingly pretty.
that's the thing. And it's for it feels like a next gen game. And so watching the footage and stuff, it's like, I got to play this game. I know I'm going to suck, whatever, fuck it. And jumped in. And it's just your balls are in a vice grip the entire time, especially the beginning, too. It really tries to nail into your brain that take your time, slow down, because, all the enemies demand your respect. And once you also figure out like you're supposed to die and you're supposed to learn from those deaths, which I understood going in and like that was a concept, but man, they really they might as well just kill you in the start menu when you start the game, just to also get you used to that.
Well, they
But
kind of almost do, don't they?
they do, yeah. They throw you a boss that you have no way of beating, but just to also say, "Hey, fuck you!" Like you shouldn't be here, and you just say, "Yes, please, I want some more," and you keep going. But I've cracked that threshold where I start to understand mechanics a little bit. The timing it has its own like timing going on. You have to get used to that. But once you start to realize, there's a risk reward thing with the souls that you can earn from killing enemies, you can use that to purchase stuff and leave the world. But then that will respawn all the enemies. So there's that kind of balance. Although all the doors you unlock in the levels, those stay open. So there's this kind of like management you have to do with like how you want to proceed. But I did beat
Those
my
the fog
first.
doors.
The fog doors they will stay open if you beat that area, but there's like physical actual doors with chains and stuff that if you figure out how to unlock those,
Oh,
they will stay open.
shortcuts. Yeah,
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 there
yeah.
you go,
Shortcuts.
shortcuts exactly.
Yeah, I
I
was
did
getting
beat
huge on
my
shortcuts.
gotcha. I did beat my first mini boss, which is a bunch of slugs with these shields, and he took forever to beat. But beat that, felt pretty good. I was able to now I can jump to different worlds, so that's pretty cool. They throw that big, huge looking knight dude very, very quickly after that, and it's just I don't know. There's how
Oh,
I'll
I
beat
think I know
that.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, because it's not just him. There's like a bunch of little dudes shooting arrows at you. It's just it seems impossible. But I think that game, I'm starting to understand like it throws it at you, but then eventually you start to learn like how to beat it. It's not the same game at all, but it reminds me of Celeste. So I love Celeste, but they did the same thing where they throw you into a world or to a level and it looks impossible. But then after you die and die and die, you start to figure out, oh, they want me to do this and that kind of thing. So there's a little bit of that where it's like you are supposed to be overwhelmed and then you start to peel apart what you have to do. And I'm starting to figure out like the bug that people get. Like it is really cool to succeed in the game because you suck for so long. But it's also so hard that I've been taking breaks often because it's just like I don't want to get my ass kicked repeatedly in a game. So, but yeah, I am having fun with it.
I imagine it'd be sort of a tricky comparison to Celeste, though, because Celeste has zero RPG mechanics, whereas this is definitely an RPG, and people definitely role play in this game. There are people, I don't know how they fucking do it, that will do magic casting only builds, and I'll be watching the stream of them stressing because I can see the number of spells they have just like dripping down very quickly. It's cool.
Now that's one thing. You're right with the Celeste comparison. It's just that's what I think of, and
Sure.
as far as like how death is used. But you're right with the magic thing. So one cool aspect of it is you have a bunch of different paths you can take or like builds that you can choose from. One of them is the royalty class, and with that you get this ring that makes your magic regenerate. So I am going through the world just blasting people with magic. So it's a little bit easier because of that. Your magic does take time to regenerate, so you have to balance it out that way. But that's been making it way easier to proceed through the world. And as I researched before getting it, that's what people are saying online. It's like, yeah, start with that class. It's better for beginners because you can kind of just proceed a little bit more than you would if if you don't understand like the battling mechanics, the sword and shield kind of stuff. So yeah, I've been just using my magic, just popping dudes from afar. But even that doesn't work eventually. Like you have to use skill. You can't just rely on the magic.
Right. I mean, it sounds like even with the range and the magic, it's still very, very, very difficult.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
That
I don't know if I can say I like it, but I do. It's this weird thing, man. It's like basically a digital dominatrix. It's like you pay it to kick your ass, and you say thank you. You know, can we do it again? Can I have some more? And I don't know if it's for me. Like I want something that's just a bit more fun. I don't know if this game is fun, but it's challenging and rewarding for that challenge. But I wouldn't say I'm having fun playing it. It's more like I'm. And I was also telling Megan and like telling Callum the other day, I just turned to this asshole because you can't really pause the game. So if you're in a heated,
pause, though.
not really. I figured out how to do it. So if you go into photo mode, which is like a bunch of buttons away from the menu, then you can pause the game. But other than that, it's like even if you put your PS4 or PS5 into suspend, it has to talk to the servers, Demon Souls. So if you do that, it just doesn't remember your progress. So you're back at square one or like in that level. So it's kind of live. So as I'm playing it and my dog's jumping on me or Megan's trying to say like, hey, the house is on fire, I just tell everyone to fuck off because I can't handle it. So it kind of makes you not a cool person while you're playing the game. But still, it's like I like it. It's just it's complicated. You know, it's complicated.
Right. Well, I am glad they finally have the world visualized the way it should be. Because I really hated the way Demon Souls and the first Dark Souls looked. I thought they looked terrible. But the newer Dark Souls 2 and 3 I thought looked amazing. And this is that, especially Bloodborne. Jesus Christ, Bloodborne. Yeah. So this is that fully realized vision.
For sure. I mean, it's a Blue Point, right? They can't miss. I mean, everything they put their hands on, they really put the love and care into and the respect involved. Like, man, they're super dope. And if anything, give them more money, help them expand to just basically remaster all the games that we love. Like, they would be the ones to handle any property, basically.
I'll be really curious. You see this a lot where these studios start off as just port houses, and that's all they'll make. They'll just make ports, and eventually they make their own thing and they knock it out of the park. And we've seen this time and time again. And maybe Blue Point doesn't want to go in that direction, but I bet if they do, I mean, they've remade some of the most amazing games of all time.
Yeah.
They've looked at the code, they've looked at these practices, terrified of what they may make. We may not be able to play games again after what they make of their own kind of ilk and be So I
That's true.
keep
Where it'd be
track
really cool to see them just
my cat's
completely do
having
what
a nightmare, and it is adorable.
your cat.
Yeah.
Nice. I did play a couple other things. You didn't ask because you don't care about me, but one of the other ones was jump back into Half-Life Alyx. There's a developer mode where
Oh.
they've done this before in other Valve games, but they added audio commentary that you can find along the way, and it's really
Mm.
dope. And man, I love that game. Just playing it more from the beginning and listening to the devs talk about just like how they had to rework, how they introduce you into the world and working on VR stuff and sound. It's just crazy fucking awesome. And that game is so gorgeous too when you're just talking to the characters in the game. They're so highly um, well animated, and the facial textures going on, the actual just motion capture going on, the quality of texture on their face. It's like next level. That's why I keep touting as this game being my like game of the year, game of I don't know how long, because they really pushed the facial animations and the character animations to something I've never seen. And granted, it's in VR, so maybe that also helps with it, but it's nuts. The lighting is nuts, man. It's a crazy dope game.
I'm gonna have to steal that VR headset from you and run through it.
I'm down because really I don't use it unless I jump back into Half-Life. So, and you have a RTX something or other, right? Because I want to say you'll be able to play this because you had one of the older.
Yeah, 2060. I should be fine to play it.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
the first card that I used, and it ran, pretty good, and it runs a little better on my 2070 now. But I think it can still run on yours for sure.
oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I saw you have the Quest 2, right?
No, I have the Quest 1. So the Quest 2 just recently came out. I thought about getting it, but I didn't because it's slightly better resolution and whatnot, but it's not like a game changer. Although it is cheaper basically than the one I purchased, which is great. A couple months later, it's a cheaper version, but yeah, you can use that as well, and it would work slightly better with the better resolution.
I had a coworker who just bought a Quest 2. He said it was like $300 at
Yeah,
Walmart, and he said the resolution is insane. Um, the thing that still bugs me about it is the weight on the front of my face. And I know I have a giant nose, and you'd think that'd make a great shelf for the headset, but it actually really hurts my nose.
ah. You know what? They do have, I was just looking at it. There was a sale on a battery pack for the Quest 2 that
Mhm.
plugs in, and it's heavy, but because it's on the back of the unit, it actually balances it out so it's not so much strain on your face. You can get them for the Oculus One as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, they sell third party stuff like that to help with just balancing the device out in general. But yeah, I would suggest getting one because they're cool. They work standalone for a lot of games. For these
Yeah.
crazy, intense games, you need a PC for sure. But yeah, you can play Beat Saber on its own and other mobile games like that.
Yeah, I may that's a big jump.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, no, I'm interested. There's also that like Elder Scrolls style like RPG that you need to play on. There have been a few that really I don't think you've jumped into on VR, and because you have the darn thing, you might as well.
No, it's
Uh,
true. There's a lot that I need to play. Still, I have Boneworks downloaded, but still haven't played it. There's also, oh boy, Microsoft's Flight Simulator put out a VR thing just a couple weeks ago. So there's like a VR mode that you can play, and it
yeah,
seems
anyone on planet Earth has a system that's going to run that at more than 5 frames per second. It's
yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough, but I'm sure Gabe Newell could play it or somebody of that caliber. But
that game's like 3080. Huh. I don't
yeah,
I don't think
you
so.
need three of them duct taped together to play this. But yeah, for me, that's really been it for this week as far as games playing. I have some other stuff that oh, you know what? You need to try Minecraft RTX. You have that RTX card. I did play that when I was tired of Demon Souls kicking my ass. I would play these happier games like Mario and Minecraft, and I was jumping on that with the RTX mode. And man, it's dope. You really got to try it.
I'd consider it. So my concern would be I've never played Minecraft. So
Oh,
I'm
that's
probably
right.
not going to appreciate it as much as anybody else. And B, like, what if I get addicted to Minecraft? And then I don't think I would because of like Forager was. Oh, that's pretty. I'm looking at the video you put in
Yeah,
the thing. Forager was like someone took like a survival style game and made it way more addictive. Like it was just like all the addictive qualities of a survival style game, um, packed into one. And I um kind of disliked every second of it, even though I poured in a bunch of hours.
interesting.
Something about survival style games I really don't like. Um,
Well, there is the
so
creative mode in Minecraft too, where you can just create stuff. You can walk around. You can do the survival part of it. Yeah, I'm surprised you never played that game. I was definitely addicted when it first came out and played on my really crappy PC at the time, but it worked and loved it. Loved it. Played it so much, and then now I just dip in when I want something that's like relaxing and fun. But I think it's definitely worth a shot. That RTX mode is just a part of the game now. It was in beta, but now it's just in the game.
I'll be curious to see when, and I'm sure it's probably already happened, but this mode is official. What's it going to look like when people combine this with the mods that make this game even more gorgeous?
Sure.
That's going to be stupid pretty. This reminds me though of another game I need to play. What's that one where you can just destroy everything and it's amazing voxel physics?
I have it in my Steam library. That is, it's called Broken something. Nope. I'm pulling up my Steam right now, and I can find it for you.
It's got a random name that is not helpful. Anyway, whatever that game is,
Okay, it is Teardown.
Teardown. I need to try Teardown.
I think you dig it.
Maybe- yeah, I think I would too. A lot of people are saying they're surprised at how fun it is.
Yeah,
So I should definitely.
yeah. Just
You're
playing
like
with the physics
recommending
of.
Minecraft, and I'm like, fuck that, Teardown. Let's go.
No, I highly recommend Teardown. I didn't play for a bunch. I think I played for maybe 4 hours. But there's a story or like a campaign mode where you have to do these various challenges, or you can dink around in the editor and just kind of destroy stuff. And they're equally fun. Like the physics are cool, the voxes are cool, the lighting's really nuts, and it all works. It doesn't really have a big demand as far as a PC goes, but you'd think it would for what's going on. But yeah, it's really really cool.
Yeah, yeah. That's Is this You also played the Mario compilation Switch?
That's what I was also playing in between these horrible rounds of Demon Souls. Was jumping into, because I honestly never played it. I downloaded it a couple months ago, the triple collection that came to Switch that was timed right, so it's going to delete itself off of the internet in what, April or February or something.
Yeah.
Playing Mario 64, and I haven't played that in a long time. And man, that game is fun. It's really addicting to kind of uh, go and get the stars, and I remember the world, so it's cool to just like refresh my memory on what to do and all the different challenges. And that game is really really dope, and it's kind of cool looking at it now, what, 30 years, 25 years afterwards, where they really nailed the 3D aspect of it. But you have stuff like Mario will latch onto corners. It just seemed like a really intuitive thing that makes
Oh
a lot
yeah.
of sense, and helps it for the fact that it's 3D, so it's hard to kind of gauge where you are, especially for like that first entry into 3D. But just adding that alone is nuts. And I see every shooter basically do that as like a staple. So they're really ahead of the time, and I think it's just they deserve a lot of
Latch
praise
onto
for
corners? You mean
uh,
like
like vaulting, like holding onto stuff. What's the correct term? Where you latch onto corners to lift yourself up. Like the game will kind of
oh okay.
snap you
Yeah,
to
yeah.
those. That whole thing is what I meant.
That was I forever ago I watched this video essay on why Mario survived the transition, Sonic didn't. And that's one of the things they brought up is there are so many ways to kind of try and save you. So latching onto corners, doing the wall jump, some of these things they really aid you. You're 3D is a lot harder, so you got to give people sort of these crutches, and these crutches just feel amazing though. And it feels like you're doing everything intentionally with purpose. And Sonic just didn't fucking do that. It's just no, you're gonna run, you're gonna jump, and good luck. That's what
Right.
you have. And it didn't really make that transition very well. Uh,
Yeah, they didn't nail it until they really just went back to the drawing board and did that uh, classic Sonic game that came out recently, where it was just kind of a not a remaster, but like using that same engine, that same kind of the physics of those first Sonics, and made those new ones. Sonic Mania, there we go. But they
yeah.
had to just go back to that formula and realize it's like, hey, maybe this doesn't work updated. It works if you keep that whole formula going, that original formula.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, Gavin. You know, I'm always right. Let me tell you. So let's pick apart some of these news stories that we can go
Pick
through.
apart.
Let's pick it apart. Actually, a good amount that we can talk about this week. So we got the first one here is Epic Games buys a huge mall, almost 1 million square feet, for its new global HQ. This is ONS
What?
Good. Yeah, ONS Good of Polygon. Epic Games is buying an old shopping mall with nearly 1 million square feet of space and plans to convert it into its new global headquarters by 2024. The deal, first reported by the Triangle Business Journal, gives Epic the 980,000 square foot Carytown Center for $95 million. Carytown Center is about 2 miles from Epic's current HQ. Epic Games has been based in Cary, North Carolina since 1999 and has 2,200 employees in its global workforce. Privately held Epic Games reported a 1.78 billion round of new funding in August 2020, valuing itself at $17.3 billion. Gavin, are you going to move into this new mall that Epic is buying? What do you think about this?
God, that's insane. When you just think about like how big malls are.
Right.
These things are huge. So you're going to turn that into a building. That's the other thing too. A lot of these business buildings are shared by many, many businesses. So you just have this giant monstrosity. I want to look this up. Carytown Center.
Yeah,
I
North
mean, it's
Carolina.
kind of nice. God, how big is this? Yeah, I mean, you think about the age of the mall has well in past.
For sure, especially with Corona and stuff. It's like it's kind of I don't know how long it takes them to bounce back these massive meeting places.
Is this? It looks like there's still businesses in there. That sucks.
Do
Good
they
luck,
turn
Shake
those
Shack.
into yeah, they turn them into V-Bucks or like how do they function still?
No, I'm pretty sure they're all getting kicked out.
Yeah,
There's a Dave and Buster's in there. This is a big.
big deal.
This is not only a walk-in mall. This is a big mall. Jesus Christ.
They're
Wow.
doing the damn thing. This is going to be their world headquarters, so I guess they need that massive amount of space, but maybe they
They better
can.
keep this Chick-fil-A. Mayhaps what else do they need to keep here?
Yeah, I wonder if more server room or what's going on if that's just a separate building in general, like the where they have to have actually have their servers.
Jesus Christ. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's nuts. But they got
That's
the money to throw around, so
yeah, that's some big dick energy right there. That is some good God.
although I don't know if you've been following, so I never cover because it's just very dumb to me. But they keep whining publicly about the whole Apple deal and how they're being wronged and they're the underdog. But it's like, dude, you're a $1 billion company. You just bought this mall for whatever pennies compared to what you have. It's like they're not struggling at all. So when I hear them complain about this Apple deal, it's just like, get over, it, dude. You make so much money. I can't feel bad for you guys.
Something I was actually watching a thing on that last night. Somebody was pointing out that Apple actually did kind of budge, and they've made their their rates more fair with indie devs, and same with like
Okay.
Android as well. So it has done some good. Yeah, I don't know. That being said, when so Epic Launcher, when's the last time you even popped on to grab something for free on that?
Uh, It's been a while. You know what? The last time when I told you about Inside being a free game, I must have missed the window because when I went on there, it was like $8 or something still. But it's honestly, whenever I hear about a free game, then I jump on. But other than that, even with like Fortnite, I'm playing on my console, so I'm never really loading up Epic on my PC.
Yeah. Oh, that was the last free game I got on there. It was Ghostbusters Remastered. Uh
Oh, right. That was a while ago.
that game is it slaps you right in the face with it. I tell you what. It goes for it. Oh, there's some good deals right now. You can get Phoenix Rising for $40. That was the single good deal I saw on there.
You know
Oh
what? They
boy.
will periodically have good deals. Like I bought Far Cry, the last Far Cry, for like $15. And when I first built my PC, it was I got to, I bought it just really to test out the PC and jump into that game again. But yeah, there's occasionally really good deals on there.
Forgot uh
Okay, well, while you are dying there,
Grand
I'm gonna
Grand
switch on
Theft
to
Auto
this.
is on here.
Yeah, you can get a deal
Apparently
on that.
Jurassic World Evolution is on there for free right now. I thought I heard that was a really good Sim style game. So if you want to
Same.
get your city builder on there,
Yeah, I've heard really good things about that game as well. It's one I need to, especially if it's free. Maybe I'll jump into that or download it at least today. But
Yeah.
yes,
The next
Gavin,
one.
we'll
Go
go
ahead.
on to our next one here. While you're running your mouth, we got Zelda Breath of the Wild uses advanced Mii characters for NPCs. This is Tom Phillips, Eurogamer. It appears The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild uses an upgraded version of Nintendo's classic Mii character creator to design many of its NPCs. That's according to data mine research from Hey I'm Heroic, a self professed Mii expert who runs the WeFAX Plus blog. Within Breath of the Wild's files, NPCs are referred to as Yumis, Ultimate Miis, maybe, who use a combination of familiar Mii facial components for their various designs. So I included a picture for you to check out, Gavin. It looks like that's what's going on. So it's pretty interesting to see this the comparison of like the Mii's versus the NPCs in there. But knowing Nintendo, they're not shy of like reworking stuff or using old stuff, and especially if it works here and it seems to work in Breath of the Wild. I didn't notice this, and I thought the characters looked awesome either way.
Hmm. I really don't know what to think about this. I mean, to me, it
Are you offended in some way or let down?
no, I think it's probably more complicated than that.
Yeah,
But
because they still have to add like uh not texture, but they still have to add some level of complexity and have to wrap it around. They have to add ears, they have to have other stuff. But it looks like they're using that as the basis somehow.
yeah, it's a pretty it's a ton of detail, and I would be curious to see. Yeah, I'd like to know more about this. I mean, it could just be like they use this as a base because they're generating all these random NPCs. I assume these are randomly generated. You're gonna have crossovers between hairstyles and facial features and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know what to think about it.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's cool. I wasn't angry about it anyway, but it seems like you're gonna lose some sleep over this cap.
Yes, all the sleep. I'm gonna write up an article
Right.
defending this.
Now, Gavin, this next one is just a cool little snippet of an engine, but this is Stalker 2. So, Stalker 2 offers an in engine look at its miserable world. Ukrainian developer GSC Game World has released the first in engine video for its grim looking adventure sequel, Stalker 2, which is currently development for Xbox Series X and PC. That was Destructoid Chris Moyes. So, it's actually exclusive for console, anyways, on Xbox Series X, which is dope. And then it's coming to PC as
Ooh.
well. But it's a very short little clip, but if you want to play it and just tell me what you think.
Let me know when you're loaded up. I'm ready to.
Yeah, so go ahead and hit play. Go for it.
All
Let it
right,
roll.
1, 2, 3.
And I have this stuff going on my end too, but it's crazy beautiful. It is crazy beautiful.
That's
And yeah, it's
weird.
it's very short, but it's just kind of giving you an idea of the lighting and the particle effects and a lot going on. Did you play the original Stalker at all? I know it was a huge deal when it came out, and I just remember hearing about it, but never jumped into it.
Our mutual friend Andy played the absolute ever living shit out of this game.
Nice.
I hear it's really really scary, so that
Gotcha.
kind of turned me off. I don't do well with scary, but I would consider playing it. Um,
Yeah,
that
because it gives
lighting
me
is insane.
yeah, the lighting's nuts. It gives me Metro vibes with the kind of post-apocalyptic nature of it and how you
Right.
have very much like bare bones equipment it looks like and everything's run down and it kind of gives me that same vibe.
Right, right, absolutely. And I mean, to be fair, I get the feeling that like retro or Metro was sort of writing maybe some coattails of that game.
It's yeah, sure.
It's a pretty game. I didn't think that it'd ever get made. I never hear people talk about it. Um,
True. Yeah,
really.
it's kind of a series that I think we would have really assumed that it would have just died and gone away. But yeah, I mean it's cool to see. I like that it's going to be at least a console exclusive to Xbox. I think the more they can have, the better. I think this is going to look great on One X too for sure. They're going to be able to use this as their graphical powerhouse thing to show off what the Series X can do.
That's going to be another one where RTX shines is where you use your main source of lighting, have the sun be that, and this is going to be like Metro. This is going to be another game where you can do that, and it's going to be another huge showcase for RTX, kind of standardizing that style of lighting. So that's
Right.
exciting.
Yep, I'm stoked. I don't think it'll come out anytime soon, but we got a little tease on the engine. So speaking about games coming out anytime soon, hopefully not. Keep your heads up for 2021 teases Dying Light 2 developer. This is Vicky Blake of GamesRadar.com. A tweet from the official Dying Light Twitter account suggests we might see Dying Light 2 in 2021. Dropped on New Year's Eve, developer Techland tweeted, "Survivors tonight, we celebrate," before teasing that fans should keep your heads up for 2021, and then tweeted out image as well to go along with that. So the last we heard from Dying Light 2 was E3 2019 gameplay reveal, and then Dying Light 2 was delayed to a vague spring quarter 2 2020 window back in January 2020. So I think that means 2021. But so it's been delayed for unforeseen date. But it's good to hear some news because we talk about this every once in a while, like when we're going to hear about Dying Light 2, and we're hearing there's some tease of some news coming soon.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, it's been in kind of development hell, and then it was a big deal when their lead writer got fired. So that's I'll be curious to see if they can recover from that properly. I really hope so. Yeah, that's a gotta hope. Gotta
Gotta
hope. I
hope.
think this is going to be one of those games after I finish Cyberpunk that I need to dive into.
The
You know,
first one, yeah, yeah, it's really
yeah.
good. Yeah, and this came out. So this is maybe the first big game I played on PS4 way back when it came out because it also released in February. I want to say that Q1 with the PS4 where there wasn't a lot coming out, and you just had your launch games, and this was the first big one to just show off the tech and kind of stand alone, separate from other big releases. So I jumped in hard into this game, and it was really fun. The parkour is really cool. The zombie stuff, just the feeling of movement in this game is pretty nuts. And so I'm hoping we hear an update on this soon. I think they're really what might be part of the delay, along with the writing stuff, is the fact that it's so ambitious. They're having all these different pathways you can take, or at least changes to the world that can happen depending on what you do. And it seems like there's just a lot going on that's gonna push this game. But if they're at least teasing something for this year, I'm hopeful that we get, if not a date, maybe another gameplay tease. But it's gotta come soon, I imagine. Do you
You
think
hope. It's been
you
in
hope?
development for a long time.
That's a thing. Do you think they I don't know if you can really do that now. Like I'll throw this question out there, but it's almost like not financially feasible. But do you think they skip current gen and go straight next gen?
I hope so.
Hmm.
I really do. Looking at the footage, I mean, it's been forever since we saw. Let's even look that up.
What footage were you thinking of?
To footage.
Oh yeah, so I'm playing the overlay of that same that E3 2019 footage, but
I mean, to me, this looks. No, I guess not as good as Cyberpunk. But it looks pretty amazing. Shoot, that is definitely doable currently. I don't know. I think they should go next gen only. Just so you don't have to worry about it as much. But
right.
I can see why they wouldn't. This does look doable on current gen. Um, hmm.
And I think there's so much left, so much money left on the table if they release only in, I say next gen, but it's really current gen,
Oh
because
shit.
there's still so many consoles out there from PS4, Xbox era. So it's like I don't know if the publishers, whoever higher up, can allow it to happen, so they can just scale back the last gen version and improve various aspects of the next gen version. But it's like I think it has to come out on those standard consoles.
Yeah. The blood in this game is insane. There is so much blood when you slash somebody. It's just a full bucket full.
Right. Yeah, that first one was similar. I think this is taking it up a notch too. But yeah, I mean, you have like I'm watching the video. The parkour is nuts with you have a hang glider mechanic to it. Yeah, I think there's just so much going on. It's taking them time, obviously because of that. But yeah, I'm hopeful that we get some real beefy news, and they're not just teasing, a cool hat that's going to be in the game. It's like something legit that they're going to announce.
Cool hat. There you go.
Alrighty, Gab, we got the next one here is Hitman 3 is on top of the world and new gameplay footage. This is Sammy Barker of PushSquare.com. Feast
What?
your eyes on the first 5 minutes from Hitman 3's new Dubai mission, which kickstarts a new season of assassination from Danish developer IO Interactive. While there's no time for any bloodshed in this brief clip, the studio is able to show off its engine as Agent 47 infiltrates a skyscraper in the Middle Eastern metropolis. So this is a longer video. We don't have to watch it all, but you can scrub through it. But we're seeing the tech, the engine going off. So there's a little cutscene, but 42 seconds in is when you can see Agent 47 zooping around. He's on the skyscraper. It looks very insane, how high up he is. But yeah, this game is slated for 2021. I think it's like early 2021.
And these clouds are insane.
Right?
Is this next gen only?
Good question. I do not know.
Huh.
I doubt that it is, just with it's in that weird overlay time, but I will do a quick Google and see if it is. Hitman
They also
3.
have the VR game at some point has got to come out.
Right. Yes. And then that same developer IO, they got the rights to the James Bond franchise, so they're working on that as well.
Oh, right. These animations are really good.
So I just looked it up. It's releasing 20th of January, and it's on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, all those Xbox One, Stadia, and PC.
20th of January?
That's very soon. Yeah, end of the month.
Wow. Okay. I'd be interested in playing this.
Yeah.
I've never played through a Hitman game before. I hear it's really fun to just keep playing through the game and like trying out different ways of murdering the person.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, the last honest one that I played through to the end was one of the Hitmans on the PS2 era. I think it was on Xbox, but that's been a while. But I love the freedom, and that now the freedom has been taken up crazy notches where you can really do all these unique things, and so the replayability is nuts because you can just keep going through parts of the world and realize you couldn't do something before. Then you have all the different NPCs that can fit in one world, and it still looks crazy beautiful. Yeah, I think this is a dope franchise how it's been growing up.
These reflections are insane.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. So let's move on to our next one. Gavaroni. We got PS5 and Xbox Series X are so big that IKEA has mock-up consoles in stock to help you buy a media cabinet. This is The Verge. Jay Peters. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are very large consoles. In fact, the PS5 is the biggest game console in modern history. Their sizes can make buying a new entertainment center that can actually fit them somewhat of a challenge, but IKEA has a solution to help you out. The company made physical sizing guides in the form of lookalike boxes to help you figure out which cabinets and entertainment centers can use the new consoles. The sizing guides were photographed by a user on Reddit. So I have the picture that I'm showing you now, Gavin, or in the docket. It's just funny, I guess, to see IKEA make their own little version of these because so many people were, I guess, taking back their cabinets because the fucking things don't fit in there. But it's pretty funny.
Yeah, pretty much 6 inches, basically 12 inches. Like I love the wording on that. That's so goofy. I mean, the Xbox one's very close since it's basically a square,
Right.
whereas the Sony one's a little bit different.
Yeah. I would like to just buy one of these to have in my house. I think it's just kind of a cool
Would
item
you?
to just show off. Yeah, if it's like $20, I'd buy this I made that small PS5 just for fun. Like I think I'd either make this or I would buy it.
It's
Just
a
for a
neat
gag.
story. Yeah, I'd be curious what these are actually made out of.
Yeah, they look
Would it-
shiny, like a kind of plastic or just a coating on a cardboard.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, especially with that PlayStation one with the curve.
Although if you buy one of these standalone, they'll send it to you in pieces and you have to build it yourself. So good luck with that. We got our next one here, Gavin. We're just talking about Cyberpunk. Here's your Cyberpunk 2077 third-person mod. This is Jody McGregor of PCGamer.com. If you've been hanging out for the inevitable mod that let you play Cyberpunk 2077 in third person, it's here. Well, sort of. It's currently a work in progress, so don't expect everything to work smoothly. Although, since this is Cyberpunk, we're talking about that. Well, we're talking about that's advice you probably don't need to hear. The game wasn't designed to be played in third person, and there are going to be some animation oddities, like the way your hips slide out of joint if you turn a corner at full speed. So I sent you the video. It's pretty short and it's really just the walking animation, but it's showing off the fact that it can be done in third person.
It definitely looks weird. The rate at which the feet move is different than your actual movement speed, so it looks like you're gliding. Uh, the hip movement is weird.
Right.
The hair movement is fucky. The female model is clearly maybe it looks like when you're doing 3D models, you have to rig men and women differently for
Mm.
proper animation. And this, like, you look at those shoulders, this looks from the shoulder up like it was a man rig. Oh, I know this area. This is by Creepy Face. Yeah, the shoulders up looks like it's rigged like a man, but the waist down looks mostly rigged correctly. They're definitely pigeon-toed, or is pigeon-toed inward? Anyway, their toes are pointing inward.
It's one of them.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's almost like a supermodel walk from the waist down, where it's like heel over heel or like foot over foot, basically. I don't like how far that camera's pulled back either. I don't know if you can adjust that in this mod, but it's like super far back.
It's a pretty wide resolution there. I wonder if they
Ah.
captured that on a I don't know about ultra wide monitor, but at least a wide monitor.
Or what's that slider? Is it the FOV slider that you can adjust? Maybe that's going on.
I mean, that's independent of your resolution, though.
Gotcha, gotcha. Although with the FOV slider, I know it just came recently to the newest Call of Duty, and my nephew is really digging it, and he's kind of taken the red pill online, where now people that console players that can have that ability to slide their FOV, which is new to at least Call of Duty, he now is convinced that it makes you play better if you see everything at once, like pulled out. But there's no advantage. Like I guess you can see more, but it's also like distorted. So he claims that that's the only way to play games was with the FOV slid all the way to the front.
I mean, it probably has to do with just the way his brain is wired.
To believe
People
anything online.
Well, no, people can just handle different levels of FOV. Like
Sure.
I remember how, like, when I went to your place and we were playing the new Spider-Man, I'm like, I can't tell the difference between quality mode and speed mode as far as frame rate goes. And you're like, are you fucking insane?
Yeah, that's because
What's
you're
wrong with
dumb. Yeah.
you? So for me, like, anything over 90 makes me feel ill. But
Mm,
some people can go way past 90. It's just what can your brain handle.
sure.
And a lot of people can't really go, past that 80 to 90 range.
Right. But in his eyes, it's like anytime you give a player something they can toggle, it's like, oh, I'm going to turn it up. That means it's better. So that's where he was coming from. And all the kids on TikTok believe that. So
I mean, he's kind of right, but it's
I guess so.
only if you can handle it.
Right.
Which is sort of its own thing.
Yes. Gavin, we've got another one here. A little bit of wording, but going on, but just giving us an idea on the PS5 in Japan. So, report PlayStation brand indecisive decline in Japan. Research firm is deeply concerned. This is Handler Wood of PlayStationLifestyle.net. Low launch sales in Japan have ACE Economic Research Institute analyst Hideki Yasuda deeply concerned for the future of the PlayStation market in Japan. Famitsu sales data published on GameIndustry.biz shows that PS5 only sold 240,000 units in its first 6 weeks, the worst launch performance of any PlayStation console in the region besides the PSP. USADA says the sales figure shows a pattern of disregard for the Japanese market. Quantitative analyst shows that Sony is not taking Japan seriously. That was a tough sentence there. So there's a couple of reasons why it seems like Sony or PlayStation in general in Japan is kind of on this decline. The PS4 launched in 2013, but Japan's release came afterward. So you have, after fall of 2018, Sony implemented its own regulations on depictions in games, which has censored content aimed at Japanese users. Also, the PS5 reveal video had no Japanese narration, while there were issues with the font used for the subtitles as well as their Japanese translation. You have the confirm button was changed from 0 or O to X in order to set a global standard. And also, due to manufacturing issues, the initial launch allocation for PS5 in Japan was barely above that of the PS3, preventing the system from reaching early adopters. How do you feel about this? Because Sony was, at least in the beginning, pretty synonymous with PlayStation, anyways, pretty synonymous with Japan users, but it really has grown in like UK and the US, and maybe that's their focus now. But it seems like why would they want to turn their back on that Japanese market?
I mean, I'd be curious how much of it has to deal with as well. Japan, as far as countries affected by COVID go, are one of the hardest hit. So I imagine that also has a big factor on it.
Hmm.
It's really, man, that's a weird one. That's hard to say. The fact that they gave him about the PS3 launch worth of consoles. Um, hmm,
Yeah, is it
that's
either that whole market is kind of just losing interest in Sony, or Japan, or so losing interest in PlayStation rather, or is PlayStation kind of setting that up to not feel like they're as important, at least with like the PS5 number of PS5s they've received. There's the whole changing that O to X, which is it's big in Japan. I know that's why the Xbox initially had
right.
issues because the X is like a negative symbol in Japan. So they're messing with that on their traditional controller. It's been that way for 20 years at least. So I wonder, yeah, if these decisions are made because in the UK and the US, it's just such a big property that they'd rather adhere to who's making the most money, which area is making the most money.
Man, that is God, that's hard to say. I mean, it's strange to me that it's not bigger. The Japanese market really likes to buy Japanese products, and
Yeah,
that's they understand their own market. So yeah, that's pretty surprising. I don't know if there's been a westernization of Sony's stuff. Certainly, I I'd probably argue that God of War is super westerny. Um,
I think you're right. Yeah,
whatever that game made by Guerrilla Games, Horizon Zero Dawn,
Horizon.
is pretty western, but
Yeah,
it's also difficult to say what really defines an Eastern style game. I don't know. I feel weird about this one. I don't even. Huh.
yeah. It's
What?
interesting. I guess we'll see over time. Is your cat flying
Yeah.
at you? Oh.
Yeah.
Did he wake up from his nap? His nightmare,
He did.
and now he's shit everywhere. Okay.
Possibly.
Alrighty, Gavin. We'll move on to speaking of Japanese market. We got this next bit of news. Miru Ueda and Team Ico Studio GenDesign tease new game with 2021 artwork. Wish to deliver a quote new experience as soon as possible. This is Yane Ogosa of DualShockers.com. Fumiru Ueda, the main creator of Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian, seemingly teased his next game with a new artwork for New Year's 2021. The artwork was shared through Fumito Ueda Studio GenDesign. The far right part of the artwork is brand new and not from any of the previous games by Fumito Ueda. They keep saying his name because they know I'm going to fuck it up. It appears to be using a similar art style as his past works. So if you look at the image here, Gavin, we've got the 2021 every game superimposed in each number, but it's that last one that is a game that looks like it's from a new game. How do you feel about this? I know you're a big Shadow of the Colossus fan.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited for it. I really like these strange just this strange world they've created, and I'm sure whatever this is going to be another game that plays awkwardly, but
Yeah.
leaves you feeling just amazing in your heart. How many games have these guys made, and in what time period? Because it feels astounding how much time they
Yeah.
make games.
It's over a lot of time. So what? Ico released with the PS2 very soon after that launch. So you look all the way back to mid 2000s with Ico. Then you have Shadow also on the PS2. Ballpark in here 2003, 2004. And then there's a huge drop because you have Last Guardian was infamously teased really early on, but did not release until the PS4 era. And I think that took another studio picking up what they had at that point and finishing the game. And then you have this new project. So it's a long span, but I'm hopeful that they can, because they're really unique studio with unique games in general. So I'm really stoked to see what they make. You mentioned how it's gonna move awkwardly. You're probably right about that. but at least I like that they really take these chances with movement in games. With Shadow, the way you grab stuff, with The Last Guardian, which was, had a bunch of different takes on it, but like with Last Guardian, how that AI character moves around, how you move around the world. There's a lot of unique ideas. It's just sometimes they don't always nail those ideas, but I respect that they take them in the first place.
Right. I'm gonna need you to guess what year you think Ico came out, and I'm gonna tell you in advance it's way sooner than you thought it was.
Okay, interesting. So I'm going to adjust that, and I'm going to say 2001.
Wow, 2001.
Yeah, come on.
That
Let me
is
second guess your
so.
boy here. Okay,
In,
challenge me on Shadow
fif-
then.
in 15 years, they put out 3 games.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the biggest tell on that is Last Guardian, because it was like, I think it was teased at the end of the PlayStation 2's life. Like, I don't think it was even PS3 era yet. It was teased
Well,
a long time ago.
and you figure how long was, I mean, that's also not counting like how long Ico was in development for. It says they were
Sure.
founded in 1997. I assume it wasn't in development for 13 years. That is just insane.
Yeah.
Um,
Now with that new game, we just see that sliver of an image. What can you imagine they're doing? So it looks like there's a boy, there's some kind of younger character with a cape holding on to something. I don't know if that's a rock or that's another, AI driven character. But what do you think if you were to imagine based on that sliver?
I have to, based on the image, because basically, like, I mean, everything in this image has 2 characters. I have to think he's not
True.
touching a rock. He's touching, and that's the way these games are. They're about your relationships with, you know, something else. Yeah, that's not a rock.
I
100%.
I think you nailed it because I didn't see that either, and they consciously chose because you could have chose a picture from Ico that's just the character with with the other secondary character far away. For sure, with Shadow, you could have just had him with the sword or climbing a colossi, and then
Yeah.
with Last Guardian, you have to have them both there. But I think they are consciously kind of showing you. Then okay, that makes the gears turn in my brain. If they're doing another AI character, I don't want it to be like Last Guardian, where it's like that's part of the whole mechanic where you have to guide this thing. Hopefully, or the AI is smart enough to deal with those issues that Last Guardian had.
I'd be curious to see how they do that. I mean, their controls are kind of intentionally sloppy on all of these games, and Last Guardian was unique in that regard because at the start, the Guardian is programmed to ignore a lot of your inputs, and
Sure.
towards the end of the game, they're very responsive, and that's fascinating. I yeah, I'm sure whatever it's going to be a artistic masterpiece. These guys can do no wrong for me.
Right.
Um, you know, are we going to see it in 2021?
That's
How
what they're
many how
teasing.
many how many years has it been? Last Guardian was
2018
fuck 2016.
when it
It
launched.
feels yeah, it feels like a year ago.
Wow. Yeah, it does not feel that long. Jesus. So, but I know there's some drama with that. I think another studio took it over, but I just forget how that was handled. So I'm just trying to think of like when was development started
Oh,
on this
development
game.
moved to GenDesign in 2014. But that game was in development for like Shadow of the Colossus came out in 2005. Last
Right.
Guardian came out in 2016.
Yeah,
I
so
don't-
you'd have to imagine there was parts of it canceled, restarted, things reworked, and so it wasn't like solidly developed, but we don't know for sure. But I mean, then it's kind of up in the air as far as when do we see this game. They're teasing 2021, maybe to at least give us a trailer, and then it's still like 2 years down the line. Or it'd be crazy if they actually launch this game this year, but you got to start hyping it up very soon if you're going to do that.
that's a that's a lot. That's man, if they came out this year, I don't think it will, but if they I don't know. I'll be curious to see how packed this year is with
Very
games.
true.
I feel like 2020 delayed a lot of stuff. Cyberpunk should have been one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, boy, it's good. We could use, despite the fact that 2020 actually had like insane games this year. We had some
Right.
of the best, most amazing stuff coming out this year. So, out of all the people spoiled during this year, it's been gamers, oddly enough. Assuming they can afford their new fancy graphics cards.
Sure.
Um,
But even like standard console players, that there's millions of us now that they've been able to play a bunch of these
there are
dope games.
dozens of us.
Yeah.
Dozens.
But you mentioned as far as 2021 being a stacked year, there is some stuff that they haven't nailed the date yet. So we have God of War,
Right.
which is still supposed to quote unquote be 2021. There is I know you
That
have Gran Turismo
studio
7.
is so bad at time management. There's not a fucking chance it's coming out.
Yes, I think that's fair. I think Horizon Zero Dawn, the sequel to that, has a 2021 date. I don't foresee that being
Oh.
this year, but that's still something that's technically applied to it. So there could be
It
some.
could. It's being made by Germans. They don't fuck around with their timelines.
I think you're right. I think you're right. They stick to it. Alrighty, Gavin.
That's
And you know what? That's the last story I have for you this week. Do you have any gaming plans coming up? What are you going to spend your time playing? More Spelunky and whatever fucking games like that you're going to be playing?
Spelunky, Cyberpunk. We figured out. I think we talked about this before the podcast, but I was trying all Sunday to find Pan Am in Cyberpunk because
Right.
now that my girl Judy has rejected me, I'm gonna get that. Yeah, go after my girl Pan Am, who I haven't even met yet, but she is already my wife.
You'll absolutely fall in love with her. I did too, and I was crushed that she's straight, and I could not convince her. She's straight and narrow, so you will have better.
What a
luck than I
bitch!
did. Yeah.
What a bitch!
How dare you? How
I'm excited. My buddy told me about this, or my coworker told me about the sex scene with her, and it sounds just amazing and laugh
Yeah.
out loud hilarious. So
If they could
I don't know.
recreate that Kanye video where they're on the motorcycle and they're both, facing each other doing it, if they can do something like that, 10 out of 10.
It sounds similar. It sounds a bit more like that scene in Shoot 'Em Up where they have a sex scene while in a gunfight. So I'm fucking about it.
I've never sat down and watched that movie, and I'm sure that that's one of your favorite movies. It's with Clive Owen, right? Like I always meant to watch it,
It
but I
is
never
with
watched
Clive Owen. Yeah, I will hand you the DVD.
I'll take it right through the thing. Here we go.
It's I can't say it's one of my favorite movies, but like you watch it, you turn your brain all the way off.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
All
Yeah, I
the
understand.
way. And it's just you can tell that the writers were definitely told there is no bad idea, and they were right. There is no bad idea in this film. It's amazing.
Nice. Yeah, that reminds me. Clive Owen is in this other movie I watched recently. It's not Metroid Man. It's Gemini Man with Will Smith.
Oh, I heard that
know
movie
what?
was not good.
You know what? It's not bad. I actually dug
Oh.
it a lot. So what's cool is the CG with the face swap stuff they do with like degenerating or making Will Smith's face younger. The tech in that is when it works, it's insane. And there's times where it's like super uncanny valley. But beyond that, the action scenes are pretty cool and the acting is really dope. Like Will Smith's acting is nuts. And you have Clive Owen in it, who's a cool bad guy. You have not Sarah Jessica Parker. You have the chick from Scott Pilgrim. Forget her name. She's awesome in it. It's actually a really cool movie.
Scott Pilgrim, the main chick.
Yeah, it's like Mary
Really?
Louise something. She has like 3 names, but she's in
It
it.
does not look like a Mary Louise. That's the other thing I ended up doing this weekend. I just watched a ton of TV. Saturday, I just like went through and binged everything. New season of Letterkenny. You need to watch that fucking show. New season of
not gonna do
Letterkenny. New season of Cobra Kai, which they finally had a non-depressing season. Jesus Christ. It
Is
was
it third
just
season, right?
Yeah, third season, best season yet, as shitty as season 2 was, and it was hard to get through. It was
Interesting.
just so much teen drama that you're just like, fucking kill me. But they used all those plot lines and came back with it, and I'm just fucking amped for season 4. I am ready for some karate, and the karate was better this season. Like the last 2 seasons, the karate's been. I don't care to watch it. I'm here for the story. This time, the karate was dope.
Nice. I keep hearing on Twitter a lot lately, like especially over the weekend, that it's a really good show. Like the third season apparently is super awesome, and I don't know if the overall story calls out to me, but you're telling me it's awesome. I keep hearing it's awesome. Like maybe I should check it out.
I I don't necessarily think it's for me because I don't remember Karate Kid from. I'm not even sure
Same.
I've ever watched it all the way through. I've probably
Because
seen the end scene.
that's what you do. You
But
always seek out the ending of a movie.
oh, shut the fuck up.
You do it, so
It's yeah, so I don't have nostalgia for Karate Kid, but they've built up the main two characters, and the main character it's not even like the show pitches you that the bad guy from the original movie is the main character, and he's not. He's sort of the co-main character. The good guy from the original movie is also a co-main character, and their relationship is super interesting.
hmm,
It's neat to see that all grown up and seeing again the villain from the movie is doing his best to do good, but he all he has is karate. That's the only thing he's good at. And it's really I think it's good. That being said, season 1 is just depressing the whole way through. Season 2 is teen drama, and then season 3 kind of brings it all together. That's a big commitment.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and then I watched something else, More Expanse, and I forget
right.
what the last thing I watched was, but I killed Stranger Things season 3 again
Oh,
or
again.
4.
So did
It's
you watch
probably
it when
my
it came
only
out?
third time ever watching it. I really like Stranger Things. I think season 3, despite being the worst season of Stranger Things, it does get better. It's just
Yeah,
it doesn't hold a candle to season 1 and 2. Those are so good.
right. Especially the first one is just solid, and it was also such a new idea, and just kind of hit everyone like a ton of bricks. And you kind of it was such a,
Yeah.
like a flash in the pan, like it worked really well. But I think yeah, the rest of the seasons were really cool, but it's just hard to capture how cool of an idea that first season was.
Have they announced when season 4 is coming out?
I think they started filming before Corona or something, but I want to say it was 2021, like end of 2021.
Release date, they may not have. Release date on Netflix 2021.
Well, those kids are
I
growing
think
up fast, so it's like they got to get on that if they want to, unless they're going to flash forward to they're in high school or something.
Yeah. Oh, that was that actually kind of happened in uh
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. Yeah, one of the kids had a big growth spurt. The main character, I guess, the main kid had a big growth spurt. But nobody else really did. Oh, that was the other show I finished, Sex Education, which I fucking recommend.
Oh damn! I think you've told me about it before. I've seen online various image of is it Gillian Anderson, and oh buddy, I will just watch
Gillian
that
Anderson.
alone. She's Scully
Oh,
from X
Scully.
Files.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think she's just gotten way better at acting as time as goes on. She keeps or maybe she just gets more interesting roles, but she
Mm.
just knocks them out the park. Yeah,
I think she
she's
does pick like really unique roles at this point. Like she's only doing stuff that she wants to do, and
yeah.
somehow she's getting even hotter. Like she'll be the hottest person in the world when she's 80 too. Like it's just somehow increasing, which is just really hard to do, and she nails it, man.
She's getting really hot. It's and
Right?
this is
It's like
probably
alarming.
this is she's also got like this haircut that I absolutely love in this one. It's sort of back to the Scully haircut where it's shorter.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
oof, it's
Yeah, there's some people it doesn't make sense. It's like, are they a science experiment? Like, what's going on? Are they Benjamin Button syndrome?
it does make me think of God, what was that show called? That one comedian. Anyway, she was somewhat offensive and stole a lot of people's jokes.
Comedian?
Yeah. God, what was her name? Amy. I want to say Amy.
Oh, Amy Schumer?
Yeah, Amy Schumer. So I'm not really into her humor or her show, but she did this one bit where it's just like actresses. They all met in like the woods to have a tea party to celebrate uh, Louis Dreifer or whatever her name is becoming unfuckable. Because once in Hollywood, once you pass a certain age, then you become unfuckable as a
Right.
woman. And so they were celebrating this. And what's her name? Whoever we were just talking about
Amy
has
Schumer.
is definitely is no, not Amy Schumer. Scully.
Gillian Anderson.
Yeah, Gillian Anderson is going the exact opposite.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like Betty White again, where it's just like she's 80 and we're all just like, how is she hotter?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying Betty White's hotter. Still hit it. But I think
Sure.
we'd all tip our hat to Betty White.
Oh, yep. I tip my Witcher for sure. Tell you what. Just gonna give a shout out before we take off to Miniman Clan, leaving some emotes in the chat of a crying baby and a dog. So I don't know if that means that my number's up and he's outside my house, and that's like a cue to assassinate me, or that's some kind of secret soldier code that's gonna waken me. But that's in the chat. So.
That's oddly enough. I guess the guy that got his ass whooped by a can of twisted tea. I guess he was like threatening that guy.
Yeah.
Like retribution on.
Oh,
On
I saw that
Facebook.
online. Yeah. That he was like
What
talking shit
the
about.
fuck?
Yeah, he's insane. That's what's going on. But yeah, Minuteman Clan,
Yeah.
what's up? Don't kill me if you're looking at me outside my window. Just come inside and enjoy a hard iced tea or whatever Gavin's got. Gavin, we can end it there for the week. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Drunk Devs.
Awesome. You can keep up the show as well on Twitter at Plastic Heart Pod. That is it for us this week. We'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.